talk about 7 tips for preparing for the bar exam during the coronavirus pandemic. There are obviously unprecedented times, and a lot of examinees' plans to take the July bar exam have either been delayed or modified. A lot of states are moving the July bar exam to mid-September or late September. Some states are moving their bar exams online or changing the format of the bar exam altogether. And at least one state, Utah, has decided it's not going to have a bar exam for certain graduates. So there's a lot of change going on right now. And it's important to adapt to this change so that you can maximize your chances of passing the bar exam in July or in the fall when you take it. So here's 7 tips for preparing for the bar exam during the coronavirus pandemic. The first is make sure that you set up a retention schedule, especially if you're taking a fall bar exam and you're starting to study early. The risk of starting early when you get started studying for the bar exam is that you're going to forget information. You don't want to learn torts in week 1 and then forget everything you learned 3 months later. So you want to be able to set up a retention schedule so that you're constantly reviewing what you've learned and that you don't forget any of it before you take the bar exam. What I recommend is that you try to set up a schedule to look at your outlines regularly after you've learned them. So if you learn torts in week 1, look at it again in week 2, look at it again in week 3, maybe take a break week 4, look at it again week 5. You don't have to spend hours on it, but spend, maybe an hour on it going through it and making sure that you still remember everything. Another thing you can do is just put weeks in your schedule where you simply review the material. So you just go back, like let's say week 4, you go back, you don't learn anything new, you just review what you've learned in week 1, 2, and 3. That's another good way to make sure that you're retaining the information and that you don't forget anything. There are definitely benefits to starting early. You have more time to learn the material. It might lessen some anxiety, but one of the disadvantages is that you have potential to not retain what you've learned. So by setting up a retention schedule, you will minimize this disadvantage. Next, take breaks. Again, especially if you're getting started early. If you plan on studying, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day for 5 months, you're going to burn out. So make sure that you take weekends off or at least 1 day a week off. Have something in your schedule regularly set up so that you take breaks and you can get away from the bar exam. It will help you immensely and it'll help avoid burnout. Third, focus on all the highly tested areas of law. So don't just say, I think this is coming up, or JD Advising predicted this is coming up. You don't want to exclusively focus on what you think is coming up, or you don't want to exclusively focus on predictions. We never recommend that people exclusively focus on predictions or what they think is coming up. You don't want to omit anything from your study schedule. You always want to focus on the highly tested areas of law, but this is especially true during the pandemic because it's harder to predict what's going to come up for anyone. So focus on all the highly tested areas of law so that you're not thrown off when you take the bar exam. Next, if your state is doing an online or remote bar exam, make sure that you have good Wi-Fi, figure out what laptop or desktop you're going to use. Try to get this all set up early so that you can anticipate if there's going to be any problems during the exam. It's better to know now than to wait, a month before the bar exam and try to get everything you need, because you'll have more time to see if there are going to be any issues with your setup. Next, focus on what you can control. So it's very difficult now for people studying for the bar exam during a pandemic because not only do we have this unprecedented pandemic, which obviously makes everyone worried to a degree, but we also have studying for the bar exam, which is very stressful as well. So you really have, this double layer of stress. And it's easy to focus on all the what ifs. What if my state delays the bar exam? What if they do this? What if I lose my job? What if blah, blah, blah? What if I get coronavirus? And instead of focusing on all the what ifs, try to stay focused on the present moment and focus on what you can control. You can control your study schedule. You can control how you're going to approach this during the pandemic. You can't control things like, what's going to happen with the bar exam or what your state's going to do. So try not to dwell on that too much and focus more on what you can control. Next, stay safe. Right now, you do not want to contract coronavirus or any virus. First of all, you don't want to risk your life. But second of all, you don't want to take away time from studying. And also, you don't want to risk not being able to take the exam. Some states like Florida have said if you come in with a fever of, I think it's 100.4, then they're not going to let you into the testing center. So make sure that you are staying safe during these times. Wear a mask, wear gloves when you're out. The last thing that you want to do is contract coronavirus while you're studying for the bar exam. And then lastly, make sure you make mental health a priority. As we've already mentioned, it's really difficult to handle the stress of the coronavirus and the bar exam at the same time. So take extra measures. If you need to talk to your doctor, talk to your doctor. Make sure you're taking good care of yourself physically. Exercise, sleep at least 8 hours or however much you need every night. Focus on mindfulness or meditation. Do what you need to do to make mental health a priority because it's extra important during the coronavirus pandemic. So hopefully this helps give you some tips on how to study for the bar exam during the coronavirus pandemic, and best of luck to you.